Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of the OneLife Theory podcast. My name is Rajiv. Today, the topic to cover is the 10 Tenets of Life. This sort of acts as a foundational system to the whole OneLife theory, so I thought it's important. Last time I had covered a version of it around the 20th episode, but this time it's a bit more renewed, a version 2 of it if I may. So let's start with the 10 tenets. The first tenet: the universe is completely infinite. It's infinite in space, it's infinite in time. You are there for an infinitesimally small time in that whole scheme of things that's the universe. It's also infinite in every option, people, things to do, places to visit, in everything, right? And that's the first point, that the universe is infinite. The second point is that your life is unfortunately finite. It's only 80 years plus or minus, and you would rather live this life completely up, no regrets. Just live it up wherever you are. You could be 60, you could be 40, you could be 20. Your job is to live this one single life really up. The third tenet is the current moment, the present moment is the only truth. The past is gone. You can't do anything about it. The future is completely unpredictable. You have no clue what's going to happen tonight or tomorrow. Leave aside the next few years. If that's the truth, why don't you just enjoy this moment? You have to live in the present moment. The fourth point is, given the present moment is the only truth, you better love what you do in the present moment. Because if you do not love, life will seem like a misfit. Life will seem like dragged. But if you love whatever you're doing, whichever aspect of life that you are in, it will seem fantastic. And that's the whole point of life, which is to love that single moment, the present moment. The fifth point is, with love comes success, failure, happiness, sadness, ups and downs. You just cannot predict, because with love, all of these things can happen, right? Because you're in the moment, you're in love with that moment, you're doing something to the best of your ability, and then not everything might be successful, right? So success and failure is part of life, and that's something that you just have to absolutely absorb. The sixth point is that with success and failure comes equanimity. You have to be able to deal with this with a lot of equanimity. Equanimity does not mean that you don't react to success and failure. It means that success, please revel in it, please celebrate it. Failure, know how to handle it, know how to learn from it. That's what equanimity means. To be able to handle both ends of the spectrum, because none of that is permanent. If you're successful today, tomorrow you might fail. If you fail today, tomorrow you'll be successful. So deal with things with equanimity. The seventh point is that the human mind has infinite potential to deal with all this with equanimity. The human mind, it does not matter who you are, what your background is, which city, what your current situation is. You actually have the power of the human mind to be able to deal with all of this and come out fantastically well. The eighth point is, as much as the human mind is super powerful, it is also dutiful to the rest of its human race, because the only thing that we are known for is being social animals. We owe it to the community, we owe it to the race of humans to move ahead. And if we move ahead, every single individual also moves ahead. We have seen that with every single development that's part of the human race. The reason why we are on top of the food chain is because we have moved ahead as a race just in the last 200,000 years. The ninth point is that you need to be able to be the best version of yourself to move not just the human race, but every single iota of yourself ahead. If you want to be able to live in the moment, if you want to be able to do something fantastic, if you want to be able to enjoy this infinite universe, you need to be able to move yourself ahead and be the best version of yourself. Otherwise, you can never do it for everyone around you. The last point is, everything is a story. This is also a story. What I'm going to be telling you is also a story. Everyone is living their own story, their own unique story. As long as you live your own unique story without impacting someone else's story in a negative way, I think you're doing pretty well in this universe. So my entire story is also just a story, and I'm going to be talking about that in the forthcoming episodes of the OneLife Theory podcast. Here's signing off on episode 1 of season 2.